Beyond the Wall, Night Watch scouts encounter supernatural creatures, White Walkers, and the living dead. One of them deserts, but falls into the hands of Lord Eddard Stark and loses his head on the chopping block. At Winterfell, Lord Eddard and his family receive news of the arrival of King Robert with his family and retinue. Robert makes Eddard an offer to become the Hand, the king's trusted escort. Across the sea in the free city of Pentheus, Viserys Targaryen marries his sister Daenerys, Khal Drogo, the leader of the nomads, hoping to get an army to conquer Westeros in the future. In Winterfell, Catelyn Stark receives a letter from her sister Lisa informing her that her husband Jon Arryn, the previous Forester, has been poisoned. Bran Stark accidentally witnesses a carnal act between Queen Cersei and her twin brother Jaime. For this, the latter throws the boy out of the tower window. Eddard Stark accepts the king's offer and goes to the capital with his daughters. Jon Snow and Tyrion Lannister are going to the Wall. The first is to join the ranks of the Night Watch, the second is as a tourist. Across the sea, Daenerys Targaryen is learning the art of love. Winterfell, armed with an assassin's dagger, tries to stab a comatose Bran, but the mercenary is killed by a direwolf. On the royal highway, Nymeria, the dire wolfari, bites the drunken Prince Joffrey, and Queen Cersei orders the dire wolf Sansa lady to be killed. Eddard Stark decides to do it himself. At Winterfell, Bran comes out of his coma. Eddard Stark and his entourage arrive at King's Landing and at a meeting of the small council learn about the huge debts of the crown. On the Wall, Jon Snow is quarreling with other recruits of the Watch. Tyrion saved him. Lord Commander Marmont informs Tyrion of the Watch's plight. Catelyn, considering the poisoning of the previous Hand and the attempt on Bran's life to be links in the same chain, goes to the capital to her husband. Here she is greeted by her childhood friend, Royal Treasurer Petyr Baelish, aka Littlefinger. Across the sea, Daenerys decides to disobey her brother for the first time. Eddard hires a fencing teacher for Arya. Eddard studies the book that Jon Arryn read before him and goes to the bastards of the king. The king and his courtiers are present at the tournament in honor of the right hand. Eddard is trying to contact Sir Hugh, Jon Arryn's former squire. However, at the tournament, Sir Hugh is killed. His opponent accidentally hits him in the throat with a spear. A new recruit appears in the patrol, fat and cowardly Sam Tarly, and Jon takes him under his protection. Across the sea, Daenerys finds out that she is pregnant. In an inn on the King's Highway, Catelyn encounters Tyrion Lannister and, with the help of her father's vassals, arrests him, accusing him of attempting to kill Bran. King Robert tries to speak at the tournament himself, but Eddard dissuades him. In the final battle, Grigor Clegane almost kills the second opponent, Sir Loras Tyrell, but Sandor Clegane enters into a duel with his brother and is declared the winner. On the mountain road to the Arryn Valley, Catelyn, Tyrion, and their companions are attacked by mountain bandits. The attack is repulsed. The companions arrive at the Eagle's Nest Castle, where Tyrion is put in a cell. In the capital, Eddard openly opposes the king's plan to kill Daenerys Targaryen and leaves the floor with his right hand. Eddard runs into Jaime and his guards. Eddard's bodyguards are killed, and he himself is wounded in the leg with a spear. Robert reinstates Eddard as the Hand and goes hunting. There are a lot of wildlings attacking in the forest near Winterfell. Robb Stark and Theon Greyjoy kill them. One of the attackers, Osha, surrenders. Across the sea, Viserys tries to escape with the dragon eggs, but Jorah Mormont stops him. In the area, Tyrion demands a trial by combat. The mercenary Bronn wins a duel for him by killing his opponent. In the capital, Lord Starky, who replaces the king, listens to the complaints of the villagers about the atrocities committed by Grigor Clegane and his men and sends a detachment to punish Clegane and his overlord. Tywin Lannister is ordered to report to the capital. Across the sea, Viserys threatens his sister, demanding the promised army and crown. Drogo kills Viserys by pouring molten gold over his head. At the Lannister military camp, Lord Tywin explains to Jaime that the war they have started is a matter of honor. Eddard informs Queen Cersei that he knows about her betrayal and suggests that she flee the capital. King Robert is mortally wounded while hunting and dictates a will to Eddard. Across the sea, Jorah Mormont saves Daenerys from an assassination attempt by a wine merchant. Drogo vows to march on the Seven Kingdoms. Behind the wall, Jon Snow takes the oath of a lookout. I will live and die at my post. Eddard, refusing to make a coup in favor of Robert's brother Renly and submit to the Lannisters, orders Cersei and Joffrey to be arrested in the throne room. Littlefinger and the bribed guards side with the Queen, killing the guardsmen in the right hand and capturing Eddard. The Queen's men are carrying out a massacre in the Tower of the Hand. Syrio Trout gives Arya an opportunity to escape. Cersei and her advisors force Sansa to write Robb a letter demanding that he surrender and swear allegiance to the new king. Robb Stark is summoning his bannermen to fight the Lannisters. In the Mountains of the Moon, Tyrion encounters mountain robbers and attracts them to his side, promising to give them good weapons. Catelyn, unable to get help from her sister, goes to her son. Across the sea to Trachian, the city of Lizarian is plundering. Khal Drogo is wounded in a conflict with his subjects. The corpses of Benjen Stark's two companions are brought to the wall. At night, the ghouls come to life and try to kill Marmont, but Jon Snow protects the Lord Commander. In the throne room of the Red Castle, Maester Pizzle reads out the first decrees of the new king. Sansa asks Joffrey for mercy for her father. Varys persuades the imprisoned Eddard to yield to the Queen and prevent a war. The army of the Northerners stops at the crossing of the Trident River. Catelyn Stark is called upon to negotiate with the elderly Lord Waldefrey. Lord Commander Jorah Mormont presents Jon Snow with an ancient Valyrian steel sword, the Long Spear, for saving his life. Jon learns that his brother Robb has gone south with the army. Maester Aemon dissuades Jon from rash actions. It's getting worse across the sea to Holodrog. His wound is inflamed. Migo Miri Mazder promises Daenerys to save Hal by resorting to black magic. On the eve of the battle, Tyrion spends the night with a prostitute named Shia. Tyrion is stunned at the beginning of the battle and only regains consciousness towards the end. Elsewhere, Robb and his cavalry return victorious and captured by Jaime Lannister. In the capital, Arya, who has escaped from the castle, witnesses Eddard Stark's public confession of his crime. King Joffrey, in violation of his promises to Eddard, orders the former hand's head to be cut off. News of the execution of Eddard Stark comes to Winterfell on the Wall and Robb Stark's military headquarters. The Lords of the North and the Riverlands proclaim Robb King of the North. Tywin Lannister learns of Jaime's capture, prepares to retreat, and sends Tyrion to the capital to take control of the young king and his mother. Jon Snow, having learned about his father's execution, deserts from the patrol, but his friends intercept him and force him to return. Lord Commander Jorah Mormont announces that the Watch is marching beyond the wall, towards the unknown. Night Watch recruiter Yoren takes Arya Stark out of the city under the name of Arya's boy. Across the sea, Daenerys Targaryen wakes up to find out that her baby was stillborn. Drogo, who was restored to life by black magic, fell into a vegetative state and is callous or disintegrated. Daenerys smothers her husband with a pillow and ascends to his funeral pyre. The next morning, the few remaining in the camp see Daenerys in a burnt-out campfire, safe and sound, with 3 little dragons hatched from eggs in her arms.